Before the massive Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia fight, ESPN writes an article and says that Errol Spence is in a no-win situation. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I had to make this video. I was on ESPN's website, and they have an article. It says, why facing Mikey Garcia is a no-win situation for Errol Spence Jr. And it's a picture of Jerry Jones and Errol Spence Jr. I will link in the description. It's an article from Steve Kim, who works with ESPN. And full disclosure, I didn't read the article. I don't need to read the article. You could tell by the headliner and the opening, cliff note caption that's underneath it what it is about. And this is the problem with old media and these sentiments. Errol Spence Jr., IBF champion, has actively pursued great fights. Keith Thurman was injured. Keith Thurman was out. Errol Spence said on the podium at the press conference, he said, hey, if Sean Porter stepped up to the plate, I would have fought him. It didn't have to be Mikey Garcia. But Sean Porter took the easier route with you guys, so here we are. Mikey stepped up, he wanted it. We made it into a big event, so, this is the next order of business. And everybody knows this. Errol Spence has not ducked any work or any fades. Now, the problem is old media is already trying to create an out, a scapegoat for if the favorite. I don't even know if he's the favorite anymore based on, I don't really follow that type of thing, like the sports betting odds, and I don't get into it, like the lines and stuff like that. I just kind of watch the sport, and if anything, make a personal bet. But here's the problem that I have with that is, why does ESPN send anybody to cover the fight if it's a no-win situation for Errol? So you see, this is the problem I have. They end up, old media, what they do when they make statements like this is try to plant the seed early that Errol Spence cannot win no matter what. So even if he stops Mikey Garcia, you've already planted the seeds and told the public that he really didn't win because he's in a no-win situation. Either way, he loses. And this has been going on for the longest time. And it's sad. It's sad in the sport of boxing that we see it. What they do oftentimes with the black African-American fighters, definitely minorities and definitely foreign fighters, but particularly African-American fighters, is they create these scapegoats, these built-in excuses for the outcome. Now, the reason with Mikey Garcia, I respect Mikey Garcia. He's taken a leap of faith. Even his own family didn't want him to initially take the fight. He had to sell him on the idea, things like that. I respect him through and throughout. But since he's moving up, they're already saying, according to ESPN, that it's a no-win situation. So if Errol Spence ends up winning, then they're going to say, oh, we knew this was going to happen. He fought the smaller guy, right? However, if he looks vulnerable, if he loses some rounds, if the fight's closer than expected, or obviously if Mikey Garcia wins totally, wins on the scorecards or knocks Errol Spence out, then they'll say, the bigger man lost. So they try to pigeonhole you and trap you. So no matter what you do, no matter what the outcome is, you lose. And that's faulty, because Oscar De La Hoya, he fought Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley moved up from lightweight, I think took, one or two fights or whatever. And then he jumped in there with Oscar De La Hoya. And I don't recall ESPN writing articles saying Oscar De La Hoya was in a no-win situation fighting lightweight Shane Mosley. But once again, check the rap sheet. When it comes to Floyd Mayweather, Errol Spence, oftentimes African-American black fighters, this is what they do. If Floyd Mayweather was retired for 21 months in the sport, came back because Juan Manuel Marquez had just beaten Juan Diaz. He said he could not get the Pacquiao fight. who was, the number one pound for pound when Floyd retired. So he says, Pacquiao's ducking me. Pacquiao don't want to give me a rematch. So I want the guy that was the number one pound for pound before he retired to come out of retirement and fight me. And that's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd, okay, that's a big fight. Okay, motherfucker. Came back, and they say, oh, Floyd, he's in a no-win situation. Oh, he missed weight. And, Floyd doesn't even stylistically fight in a style where he uses weight to his advantage. People say it's funny and it's comical because people say Floyd Mayweather runs, but then they act like he's using his weight to his advantage. How do you run and also use your weight as an advantage? I can understand if he fought like Klitschko, somebody who clinches heavily, someone who's 6'6", 255, 265 pounds, big, massive Ukrainian guy, and you're clinching, you're rubbing, and putting your body weight on somebody. Tyson Fury versus Steve Cunningham, those types of things. But it's not even how Floyd fought. Skill wise, he's better than Juan Manuel Marquez, and I'm a huge Marquez fan, but it's just Floyd is a bigger, stronger, faster, quicker, faster reflexed, quicker processing version of a Juan Manuel Marquez. Everything Marquez can do, counterpunch, Floyd can do it, but he can do it faster with longer arms, bigger frame, more rhythm, things like that. And it's just so funny that old media continually picks and choose certain opponents. Like when Golovkin was fighting Kell Brook, I don't remember ESPN writing any articles saying that, Golovkin's in a no-win situation. And that was truly a no-win situation because Kell Brook, he had his biggest win with Sean Porter, and it was years prior, right? And he didn't have any elite name resume even at 154. He fought like guys that catch weight, nobody, like no namers, when he didn't want to, like earlier in his career or something, when he didn't want to make the full weight, right? But yet and still, ESPN put Gennady Golovkin number one pound for pound, and I don't recall articles where they said Triple G's in a no-win situation. Even though Kell Brook, it was far removed from the Porter fight where he did his best work and the best resume name at that particular point. Kell Brook had recently been fighting, more recently, he had been fighting the likes of JoJo, Dan, Frankie Gavin, and Kevin Bezier, and he had a lot of failed fights in that time. Jesse Vargas fight failed, didn't go through. Diego Chavez fight didn't push through. I think Devin Alexander might have been there that didn't push through. And he had several of these different fights, Brandon Rios, all these better fights than who he had been fighting at that moment. And he kept fighting domestic level opponents. Like Jojo Diaz was his mandatory, who beat Kevin Bezier twice. And then he ended up fighting both of them because allegedly they're both his IBF mandatories. And yet and still, this is what I'm talking about with old media. I don't recall ESPN or anybody saying Triple G, he's in a no-win situation, and they gave him full credit. Now when it comes to Errol Spence, the African-American fighter, the guy man down from DeSoto, Texas, they're already setting up this prequel and this precursor to a potential victory. Whereas if he wins, it's not good enough no matter what, because either he's going to look vulnerable and Mikey's going to make it tough and or beat him, or he beats him, even if he beats him one-dimensionally, they're going to say, oh, it's a no-win situation. So very typical and disappointing from ESPN. This is what we seem to get more often than not from ESPN when they write articles, the people they put in place and different things like that. And this is why new media is here. And this is why our voice becomes louder than people and imprints that are bigger, in terms of like bigger outlets and bigger boxes, a big vehicle of money, because real boxing fans respect it. Mikey is a terrific fighter. Errol's a terrific fighter. May the best man win. It's being advertised as somebody's gotta go. And this is the other thing why it's not fair and it's unfair to Errol Spence to do this, is because guess what? Errol Spence, he's already, people are making it like he's some weight bully and he's trying to pick on Mikey. Mikey sought after him. This is fair game. This is Mikey's doing. Errol Spence wasn't looking down the division like, oh, who could I fight at lightweight? This is what Mikey said he wanted. Nobody, the networks, Fox, the powers that be, Premier Boxing Jam, nobody was trying to make this fight. It was Mikey. He opened his mouth and said he wanted this. And then they started looking into it, seeing that there was a market there. Checked with Jerry Jones, obviously. He said, yeah, my venue can host it. And the fight was put together. They said, all right, Mikey wants this. Errol Spence is game for whoever, you know. And that's another fact that they don't want to throw in there. They made it like Errol Spence was on this quest to find a guy and pull up, and then, you know, that's even technical. They keep making it like Mikey Garcia is coming from lightweight, which his last fight was at lightweight, but they failed to mention that just last year, the same very year, he was a champion at 140. He beat Broner the year before at 140. He beat Sergey Lipinets last year at 140 and became a champion. The first, you know, guy in a while to join the ranks of Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez and conquer those certain divisions. That was his 4th division. Now he's going after his 5th. And, you know, people are using, you know, this is what they do with old media. They use the extremities to try to illustrate their point. Oh, Mikey's coming up 2 weight classes, you know, without referencing the fact that Mikey Garcia actually was a champion just last year before the Robert Easter fight, you know, at 140. And they're making it like he's just at this huge deficit. But, you know, people like Josecito Lopez and Maidana can say Mikey hits like a welterweight or greater, and he was the biggest puncher I've ever felt, you know, Brandon Rios and stuff like that. And people are still making it like Mikey Garcia is like tiny, like, you know, Errol Spence just sought him out and is trying to pick on him because he's a light puncher. Meanwhile, Gennady Golovkin might fight, is rumored, and I heard the rumor started from from ESPN. He's rumored to fight Camille, some guy with 4 knockouts. But let's see if ESPN writes an article that says Triple G, if he fights Camille, he's in a no-win situation, or if they just accept it. You know, they never want to give credit. And then the thing is, a lot of these guys they work for companies or whatever and try to get credentials, and they be laughing and jovial in the fighter's face, and then, you know, they're secretly rooting for them to lose and, you know, putting out stuff, just different stuff like this where, you know, I'm not going to give you credit no matter what the outcome is. And it's rude and unfair to Errol Spence to try to do that. Again, Mikey's a good fighter. You got guys like Abel Sanchez, Lennox Lewis, all saying that he has a Goosen, I think it was. They all said that Mikey has a chance. You know, Josecito Lopez says Mikey has a strong chance. Guys like Sugar Ray's picking Mike. You know, I don't know, don't quote me on this, but maybe even Mike Tyson, you know. And you got these different various guys saying Mikey can do this, but ESPN sitting up here writing an article talking about why facing Mikey Garcia is a no-win situation. So March 16th, when we get an outcome, you know, if it is Errol Spence, I really don't want to hear any excuses. That's the oldest trick in the book. You know, let's just hedge our bet and plant the seeds early that this guy can't win no matter what. You know, the same thing they try to do with Floyd Mayweather is never good enough. You know, we're going to just say, oh, Pacquiao's old and the fight should have happened 5 years ago, just because we firmly believe that, you know, the talking is over and now Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather are actually about to fight. So guess what? Now we got to hedge our bets. So, you know, if Pacquiao wins, great. But in the event that the inevitable happens, which is Floyd Mayweather, the better fighter, beats Pacquiao, we'll just at least tell people that, you know, the fight was past its expiration date, or Marquez knocked out Pacquiao, or Pacquiao was past it, even though Floyd Mayweather's older, you know. So Errol Spence, he must be doing something right because he's getting the same level of treatment already. You know, they're already counting on him. This is like, when the old media does this is a backhanded compliment. You know, they're basically saying, hey, my gut feeling is saying that you win, but let me buy this insurance real quick. You know, it's just like when you go to the casino and you're playing blackjack, you're playing 21, and the face card that the dealer is showing is an ace, and you could buy insurance just on the off chance that they have, you know, a blackjack. You can buy insurance to cover your bet, you know, just in the event that they actually have a blackjack, or you can chance it. This is in the same regards what old media will do. They want to have that insurance in place by putting this out there that, you know, even before Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, Floyd can't win, because if he wins, then it's because Pacquiao got knocked out before, or they waited too long. Pacquiao's not in his prime. Same thing with Errol Spence, but we're not falling for it. If Mikey wins, he gets full credit. If Errol Spence wins, he gets full credit. They're both good fighters. Somebody's got to go. May the best man win. New media, digital mob. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.